first, let's bring you that big fallout of the Adani bribegate storm. The Kenyan government has cancelled the Adani deal for expansion of an airport after US indictment. Kenya has cancelled a $700 million deal with Adani amidst allegations there too of corruption. Kenya-Adani deal for power lines has been snapped. Kenya has also cancelled the $1.8 billion proposal by Adani Group to expand their airport. So you're listening, you're seeing in Nairobi how that impact is taking place. Let's listen in to what the Kenyan president said in the parliament there.
The information that has been provided to us by partner nations, I have directed agencies within the Ministry of Transport and the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to immediately cancel the ongoing procurement process for JKI expansion public-private partnership transaction, as well as the recently concluded Ketrago transmission in public and immediately commence the process of onboarding alternative partners, because these are important projects.
Okay, let's turn in then to the big news today, because you saw that happen in Nairobi, but it all followed what happened earlier today or late last night. A US court has indicted Gautam Adani and other officials of his group for allegedly hiding information on alleged bribery committed in India while raising funds from American investors. The move by the American Department of Justice is seen as one of the big blows to one of India's richest business tycoons, who may now find it tough to raise money abroad. Adani Green Energy, named in the indictment, has scrapped its plans to raise $600 million through bonds. The Adani Group has denied all the charges. The markets felt the impact, but more importantly, the credibility of the Adani Group, and if the opposition is to be believed, his political benefactors, is under test. Take a look at our top story.
Adani Group shares fell up to 20% as trading opened Thursday on news of Gautam Adani and 7 others being indicted in the United States on charges of a $265 million bribery scheme and fraud. Among those charged is Gautam Adani's nephew, Sagar Adani. According to authorities, Adani and the other defendants agreed to bribe Indian government officials to secure lucrative solar energy supply contracts. These contracts would have, according to authorities, yielded $2 billion of profit over 20 years, along with the development of India's largest solar power plant project. Prosecutors also said the Adanis and another executive at Adani Green Energy, former CEO Vineet Jain, raised more than $3 billion in loans and bonds by hiding their corruption from lenders and investors. The 54-page indictment alleges that Gautam Adani personally met with Indian officials to advance the illegal deal and secure the contracts. Prosecutors alleged that Adani and 2 executives conspired to misrepresent the company's anti-bribery and corruption practices to US investors and financial institutions to obtain financing. Adani and 7 other business executives, including 2 who worked at Adani Green Energy, the renewable energy firm, were charged in the scheme. Gautam Adani and Sagar Adani were charged with securities fraud and 2 counts of fraud conspiracies. The Securities and Exchange Commission also brought civil charges against the 2 defendants. According to the indictment, some conspirators referred privately to Gautam Adani with the code names Numero Uno and the Big Man, while Sagar Adani allegedly used a cell phone to track specifics about the bribes. According to court records, arrest warrants have been issued for Gautam and Sagar Adani, which will be handed to foreign law enforcement agencies. In a first statement by an Adani Group company, Adani Green Energy scrapped a $600 million bond issue. The statement said the United States Department of Justice and the United States Securities and Exchange Commission have issued a criminal indictment and brought a civil complaint respectively in the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York against board members Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani and Vineet Jain. Because of this, its subsidiaries have decided not to proceed with the proposed dollar-denominated bond offerings. The charges come 22 months after Hindenburg Research's allegations against the group shaved off $150 billion from its market cap. Meanwhile, GQG Partners, led by Rajiv Jain, which invested heavily in the Adani Group after the Hindenburg crash, saw its stock tumble 20%. It holds 3.4% in Adani Enterprise, 4.1% in Adani Ports, 2.5% in Adani Transmission, and 3.5% in Adani Green Energy. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
The Adani bribery charges predictably triggered a political storm. Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi leading the charge, demanding Gautam Adani's arrest and accusing the Prime Minister of shielding the businessman. The BJP says it is ironically the opposition-ruled states who are named in the US indictment, states like Andhra Pradesh, and accuses Rahul Gandhi of stoking investor fears. Take a look.
The indictment of billionaire Gautam Adani in a New York court over his role in an alleged multi-million-dollar bribery and fraud scheme has sparked a firestorm in India. The Adani Group released a statement denying the charges, but it had no effect on the political slugfest that had already begun. Congress MP and leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi lashed out at the government, accusing Prime Minister Narendra Modi of protecting Adani.
अदानी जी को एकदम अरेस्ट किया जाए और हम जानते हैं और हम देश को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि अदानी जी की अरेस्ट नहीं होगी और इसलिए नहीं होगी क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री अदानी जी के पीछे खड़े हुए हैं और उनके प्रोटेक्टर हैं.
The Congress leader claimed a fair investigation will expose Prime Minister Modi.
अदानी जी को अरेस्ट कीजिए, उनका इंटेरोगेशन कीजिए और फिर जो भी इसमें इन्वॉल्व है पकड़िए. और एंड में मैं आपको बता रहा हूं, नरेंद्र मोदी जी का नाम निकलेगा क्योंकि बीजेपी की पूरी फंडिंग, पूरा फंडिंग स्ट्रक्चर इस व्यक्ति के हाथ में है. इसीलिए प्रधानमंत्री चाहे भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते.
The BJP hit back at the Congress. It claimed that the alleged bribes occurred between July 2021 and February 2022 in opposition-ruled states.
4 राज्य में SDC, स्टेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी, वो स्टेट की ही प्रॉपर्टी होती है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की. कांग्रेस पार्टी की भूपेश बघेल जी की सरकार छत्तीसगढ़ में उस समय मौजूद थी. उस समय आंध्र प्रदेश में जहां सबसे ज्यादा लेन देन के विषय में चर्चा हुई, YSRCP की सरकार थी. क्योंकि तमिलनाडु का नाम भी इसमें आता है, उनके स्टेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन कंपनी का नाम आता है. किसकी सरकार थी? DMK, आपके सहयोगी स्टालिन जी की सरकार थी. उस समय उड़ीसा में किसकी सरकार थी? BJD की सरकार थी.
Countering Rahul's attack on Prime Minister Modi, the BJP said the Gandhis have failed to dent Modi's credibility.
राहुल जी कह रहे थे इंडिया हाईजैक हो गया है. गलत, टेंस गलत है. पास्ट टेंस में होना चाहिए था, फ्यूचर टेंस और प्रेजेंट टेंस में नहीं. इंडिया हाईजैक हो गया था. गांधी परिवार, ये नकली गांधी परिवार उसके हाईजैकर थे. कमांडो ने मुक्त कराया है हाईजैकिंग से.
Ever since the Hindenburg, a US-based short seller leveled allegations of irregularities by the Adani Group, the Congress leadership has been gunning for the conglomerate over his links with the BJP government. Bureau Report, India Today.
Okay, let's bring you a timeline now of the bribe scheme as mentioned in the US indictment. Now, according to this scheme, between December 2019 and July 2020, Adani Green Energy and a US-based company, Azure Power, won the tender offered by the Solar Energy Corporation of India, or SECI, which is run by the central government. But the high energy rates in the letters of award, or the LOA, made it tough for the Solar Energy Corporation to find buyers from state distribution companies. According to the defendants then, allegedly devised a scheme to offer bribes to specific government officials. These, according to the indictment, included the government of Andhra Pradesh, where at the time Jagan Mohan Reddy was the chief minister. On August 7th, September 12th and November 2021, Gautam Adani personally met a government official in Andhra Pradesh and allegedly more than 1,700 crores as per this claim these charges were offered as bribes. Adani's meetings, according to the US court indictment, allegedly were to advance the execution of power sale agreements or PSAs between the Solar Energy Corporation and the Andhra Pradesh Power Distribution Company. Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani, Vineet Jain and co-conspirators allegedly offered 2,029 crores to government officials in different states. Of this, 1,750 crores was allegedly offered to a government official in Andhra Pradesh to buy 7 gigawatts from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Between July 2021 and February 2022, the power distribution firms of Odisha, ruled at the time by the Biju Janata Dal, J&K, which was under central rule, Tamil Nadu, which by then had become under the DMK, Chhattisgarh, Congress ruled, and Andhra Pradesh entered into these agreements with the Solar Energy Corporation of India. Specifically on December 1, 2021, the power distribution company in Andhra Pradesh agreed to buy 7 gigawatts from the Solar Energy Corporation of India. That's the timeline that has eventually led to this criminal indictment in a US court. I want to raise the big questions tonight and be unambiguous about them. What does this indictment mean for Adani Group, one of the biggest groups in the country? Is it true that Gautam Adani hid the probe information from regulators as is being alleged? Is SEBI in this country shielding the Adani Group? Will the opposition ruled states order an investigation, or the states certainly where the bribery charges have been made? And what next for the markets and indeed for Gautam Adani and those who the opposition claims are protecting him? Joining me now is Abizar Divanji. He's founder Neostrat Advisors. He's a top corporate lawyer. Sanju Verma is national spokesperson BJP. Shama Mohammed is national spokesperson Congress. Karan Thokral is advocate at the Supreme Court. And Shankar Iyer is political economy analyst, author and columnist. I'm going to come to the politicians in a moment, but I want to go to the experts first. Abizar Divanji, give us your sense. Does this indictment, would you concede that the charges are serious enough for Gautam Adani to, according to the opposition, be arrested? Or do you believe that is at this stage there is nothing which suggests direct involvement of Mr. Adani, the individual?
So thank you, Rajdeep. But let me first say I'm not a lawyer, I'm a chartered accountant. So I may be even better than that. But coming to the question, I think that it is too premature for the Indian government to act. I think there will be a process in the US for the indictment to be. There needs to be something more substantive to come up on it. And once something substantive does come up, then the action. But when you talk about the implications on the group, I think implications are severe for the group and for India.
How are they severe? We've already seen in Nairobi today a project being cancelled. Is it that it reduces the global credibility of the Adani Group to go beyond India? We are seeing the Bangladesh government also re-looking at a power purchase agreement. There are questions being raised in Sri Lanka. Is that the immediate fallout, quite apart from the markets?
Oh, absolutely, there is. One is that international projects will slow down because there will be issues and there will be contagion effects. And one can guess why people have been taking action in such a stable manner. But apart from that, the ability to raise capital. And the third big thing is India's own energy initiatives. What India has been doing well with Gautam Adani and the like, I think, is actually using the private sector effectively to achieve national objectives. I think that's been a very successful effort. And if you look at the Adani Group, in sense, you got to give it to them. Their execution is flawless in terms of what they're able to build. So the nation was building, I think with the lack of capital, hopefully there will be avenues domestically to raise that kind of capital.
Okay.
Better off, but if not, I think projects will suffer.
Let me bring in at this moment Shankar Iyer. Shankar, there is one aspect which Abizar referred to, which is the execution capacities of the Adanis. The other aspect which is coming through is these serious charges of bribery. This is a US court which has made them. We've heard similar charges being made in Kenya that has now led to a cancellation of a project. But this is specific. Amounts are given, dates are given. Isn't that hugely embarrassing? And where does that leave the Indian government, which the opposition says simply will not act in these cases?
Well, it's hugely embarrassing for the Adani Group for sure. It's also hugely embarrassing for Government of India. That's something that is probably open secret in India, that contracts are done with bribes or deals are struck with state governments, is sort of coming out in an indictment. Now, mind you, this is an indictment. It's not a proven guilty situation. And it is up to the Adani Group to fight it out in the courts. The US courts have previously accepted plea bargains. Adani is not the first company to sort of violate the FCPA, Siemens, BAE. Many companies have violated. And it comes at an interesting time in our own growth story. So to go back to what the Adani Group means for India is that Mr. Modi has used the Chaibol approach to build national capacity, national champions to build national capacity. But that is constrained by availability of credit. Now, if you look at it, the ability of execution that has been spoken about of the Adani Group is for sure. It's there to see. I mean, whether it's the ports or the airports or the other projects. But it's also all of these projects have some cost-benefit analysis and the cost of capital. So Mr. Adani's entire group is built on mergers and acquisitions which require capital. It's also scaffolded by large infrastructure projects which require capital. And so coincidentally happens that every time he's trying to raise money, there is a scandal that is blowing up. Now, I suspect that this whole episode has come through because of some whistleblower or some vested interest. But that aside, it is for Mr. Adani to defend himself in the courts. What is India's risk here? India's growth story is led by the investment story, that it is investing in many infrastructure projects. Now, unless the government of India sort of works on clearing up whatever is the suspicion of people, whatever of investors, raising capital for large infrastructure projects will be daunting. In the sense that this year, for instance, 11 lakh crores or something is being set aside for infrastructure projects. Some of these infrastructure projects are being executed by public sector enterprises. Some of these projects are being executed by private enterprises. India's ability to raise capital is very critical for India's growth story. I believe that the BJP has said that 3 of the states, 4 of the states are all opposition ruled states. I suspect Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, who is an ally of the NDA, of the BJP in the NDA, will take a close look at the power purchase agreements in Andhra Pradesh, as he should, to clear the name of Andhra Pradesh. The BJP is in power in Odisha and in Chhattisgarh. Maybe they should look at those power purchase agreements and examine what is going on. I think there is a need for dry cleaning of all these situations. There needs to be much more transparency in the way power purchase agreements are structured in India. So I think that beyond the stock market, beyond the Adani Group's ability to raise capital, there is a larger national issue at play, and I hope this is taken
I'm
seriously.
going to stop you at that point because you've raised both the questions of the impact it will have on the Adani's ability to raise capital, but the larger issue of the way power purchase agreements are signed in India. Karan Thukral, this is an area which has often been discussed, the manner, the lack of transparency, that contracts in India often involve under the table bribe. Just the amounts involved here might seem staggering to some, certainly to the US, but in India this is one of the worst kept secrets, that a lot of these projects do involve bribing government officials. Now, the claims against Mr. Adani are in the nature of allegations at this stage. They are not proven. However, do you believe that the Indian government must launch its own parallel inquiry, given that a US court has specifically given a timeline of the bribes that were allegedly paid to governments here in this country? You're on mute. You're on mute, Mr. Thukral. You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
has quoted it very well in the first line itself, that this is only an indictment. What Mr. Adani has been alleged to have done is that he did not disclose that how these contracts with the discoms were obtained through paying lucrative rights. This is allegation basically against him. He promoted debt securities bonds, green bonds globally, which included the US market, targeting international investors, US investors. No, it's in a very layman's words, it's misleading the investors and violating disclosure requirements. Now, this indictment can only proceed further when the extradition takes place. There is an extradition treaty between the India and the US, and what fire and wildfire which is going on over here, there is only single extradition treaty which was signed in 1997, was enforced in 1999, which basically promotes extradition but does not obligates or mandates India to extradite its own national. So if, for example, the US court has indicted Mr. Adani, India is having a kind of immense discretionary powers to refuse the extradition, and that indictment will not result into anything. India is having an option to basically get prosecution over.
No, but should India be launching a parallel inquiry in this country? Extradition is one aspect. India has the right to deny, and it's unlikely you will extradite a billionaire businessman. It's unlikely, extremely unlikely. But the fact is, should we be ordering an inquiry or not in this country?
That has to be done under the treaty. That is, India is obligated to do that. If they refuse the extradition, they have to basically start a prosecution over here. If the US prosecutors basically bring forward good credible evidence, they have to start a prosecution over here in India before the domestic competent courts. This is under obligation. They have to do that. If they refuse.
Okay, I've heard the legal experts and our business analyst Shankar Ayyar. Let's get the politicians in for a moment. Shama Mohammed, within a couple of hours of this happening, Rahul Gandhi had a press conference and said Adani ji must be arrested. Now, it's at the moment a charge. It's not proven in a court of law. And the truth of the matter is, when you look at actually the indictment, all the alleged bribes that were paid seem to be, at least in this charge sheet, to opposition ruled states at the time. Andhra Pradesh, Jagan Mohan Reddy; Odisha, Biju Janata Dal; Chhattisgarh was a Congress government; Jammu and Kashmir was ruled by the centre; and Tamil Nadu. These are the 5 state governments specifically named, and the amount named to an Andhra official unnamed is given in this indictment. What is the Congress party trying to say? Adani will turn around, or the BJP is already turning around and saying, look, these are opposition ruled states where the bribes were paid, allegedly paid.
Okay. First and foremost, my leader, Rahul Gandhi, is correct when he said that, because he clearly said, it doesn't matter which government, who are involved, whoever is involved, please investigate. I was there at his press conference. Now, my issue today is, I didn't see any statement from Adani coming against this from the morning, but I see BJP leaders, all of them, from Amit Malviya, Sambit Patra, coming out against the indictment of a company in India by the government of the United States of America. And let's understand, this is a grand jury indictment. The FBI, the SEC, as well as the Justice Department was involved in this investigation. It's not a small thing. Let's clearly understand that. So my question today is, when in Augusta Westland, when it came from Italy, let's not forget that, there was a huge hue and cry here, and we were ready for a JPC. I'll not forget that. Today, my question to them is, when there is such a huge indictment, and let's understand that, money raised there, 3 billion, given in bribes, and that is around 25,000 crore, given in bribes over here to India. You raise money of investors, American investors, you use that to bribe bureaucrats and politicians in India. And the company, the PSU, which is there in the papers, in the indictment, is called Solar Energy Corporation of India. And that comes in Narendra Modi's ministry.
Solar Energy Corporation of India signed the agreements with the state governments, but as per the indictment, the officials involved are from the state government. Now, are you saying, therefore, Chandrababu Naidu must investigate Jagan Mohan Reddy? Will the BJP government, the BJP government in Odisha, should it investigate the Biju Janata Dal officials when Naveen Patnaik was in power? In Chhattisgarh, should they invest Mr. Baghel and his officials?
Rajdeep, what we are saying is that the simple thing they have to say, the Bharatiya Janata Party, is law will take its own course. Of course, there should be a JPC proof. Investigate whoever is involved. And that is what Rahul Gandhi said. This is a huge indictment. And as you've seen, the Kenyan government has taken off a $786 million deal. They said it's off. And let's also understand a very important point. In the report, it says that in March 19, 2024, March 18, they did not reveal, Adani Group did not reveal that this investigation is ongoing since 2 years. Now, according to the Companies Act 2016, an amendment was done in 2016 by the Bharatiya Janata Party government saying that any public company here, which is public, has to put it out in their statement every year if there is an investigation. Otherwise, you're also defrauding your investors. So they have defrauded the American investors.
Okay.
They are defrauding the investors in India. We are all paying very high prices for electricity. What is happening? Why am I'm asking today the question to BJP, why are they coming in defense instead of saying the law will take its own course?
Okay, you made your point, ma'am. I've heard you. I've heard you.
That?
Now you're repeating
why
yourself, ma'am. I've heard you.
Point?
You've said that. Why is the BJP going out of its way to defend Gautam Adani? Sanju Verma, that's just one of the questions. The other question, quite bizarrely, is the BJP suggests all of this is happening just before the parliament session. Now, are we saying US courts are acting on the timelines of India's parliament session? Why not accept the point that Shama Mohammed is making, that the government of India will launch its own inquiry, transparent inquiry? If there is to be a JPC, so be it. Why is the government of India going out of its way to protect an industrialist who is finding himself being accused of very serious bribery allegations?
Rajdeep, you asked me a question. First and foremost, I want to know, is you loud and clear? Because there were many technical glitches in the last
loud
2 minutes.
as
I was barely able to hear what you were saying.
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Please go ahead, ma'am. Please speak.
Am I audible, Rajdeep?
Yes, ma'am. Please speak. Please speak, ma'am. Sanju Verma, can you hear me? Okay,
Hello?
Okay, we're going to try and get you back, Sanju Verma, because the bandwidth seems a little low. But let me take that before that to Abhizar. Abhizar, before it becomes a political slugfest, are we clear that these charges are serious and therefore need a clear investigation in this country? It's one thing what's happening in America. If officials in this country are being bribed, it surely... Sorry? Shankar Iyer, do you believe that these charges are serious enough for an investigation in this country or not?
Well, there should be an investigation because it's about public sentiment, about investor sentiment, about confidence of foreign investors. We need foreign investment into the infrastructure sector. The other thing that, Rajdeep, we must keep in mind is that there is a government in transition in the US. The current attorney who's addressing this case is probably not going to be there. The new attorney who has been nominated by President Trump, Jay Clayton, is actually against the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Mr. Trump himself is against the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. So you might have a situation in January or February where all of this gets sorted out and aired after it's aired in
No, 1 minute, Shankar. What is sorted out in the US is different. The fact is, Sanju Verma, who's back with us, should the BJP be responding to the specific bribery charges rather than simply making it Congress versus BJP, as often is the case, or Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi? This is specific charges of huge amounts of bribes being paid to officials in PPA agreements.
Now, Rajdeep, you asked me many questions. There were few issues, but let me come straight to the point. Why is the BJP defending Gautam Adani? The first BJP is not defending Adani. I'm saying this as the national spokesperson of the BJP, that the law will take its course. Gautam Adani is possible. He will have to law of the land just like anybody else. But at the same time, Rahul Gandhi is playing a very, very devious game. The moment he mentions Gautam Adani, he also conferences के खिलाफ कोई एक्शन नहीं लेगी क्योंकि इन सब घोटालों में नरेंद्र मोदी खुद involved हैं. So if you're going to make reckless allegations of the Prime Minister, who has an impeccable reputation when it comes to being absolutely having zero tolerance for corruption, You will see Sanju Verma speaking out. You will see cabinet ministers of the Modi government speaking out. You will see every bona fide citizen speaking out against Rahul Gandhi's gibberish.
No, but why is Rahul Gandhi the target? It's not Rahul Gandhi who's... 1 minute, madam. Rahul Gandhi has not been indicted by the US court. It is Gautam Adani. Just a minute, Ms. Shama Mohammed. You will not speak.
So
please.
Why are you abusing Rahul Gandhi?
No, madam, your voice will be brought down. This is not fair. Please bring your voice down. Sanju Verma, answer my question.
Yeah, let me answer. Right, very clear. First and foremost, what is the meaning of indictment? Because I see, from Jairam Ramesh to just about everybody is saying, oh, indicted. As far as I know, and legal experts will vouch for this, indictment does not mean determination of guilt. It means that prima facie the jury has material to proceed with a legal, in terms of carrying forward the trial in question. And if you notice, the very indictment which is being peddled on social media, there it is clearly mentioned that the charges in the indictment are merely reckless allegations. The defendants are presumed innocent until and unless...
No, you're right. But I want to know why is the BJP since the morning... Why is the BJP since the morning getting so het up about it, even linking it to Parliament session? Surely a US court's timelines are not that of Indian Parliament.
Can you finish the question? I was just finishing. I did not link the Congress. Now, why is BJP defending Gautam Adani? Because if you remember 2022, you remember 2023, you remember now 2024, Rahul has not just attacked Gautam, he attacked State Bank of India saying Gautam Adani, State Bank इतना करोड़ों रुपया दिया है कि आज State Bank of India दिवालिया हो जाएगा. And not a single journalist was willing to call out the bluff of Rahul Gandhi on your show. Let your audience know, in the last 3 years, State Bank of India has made net profit of 1.63 lakh crore, which is more than the combined profit that State Bank of India made in previous 64 years. Today, State Bank of India, ICICI Bank and ICICI Bank are amongst the top 50 banks within the Asia Pacific Forum. And this is the same Rahul Gandhi who said LIC diwaliya ho jayega.
No, but why not make a ma'am, there are two parts. There is Rahul Gandhi, who you are accusing of playing politics, and there you have every right to claim that he is trying to take political advantage. But the charges themselves are serious enough, surely, for a party which says na khaunga, na khane dunga, to at least distance itself from the individual.
Yes, my last intervention. I'm glad you asked me that question, and this time I don't want to be heckled. My simple point is this, I repeat, if Gautam Adani is indicted and you want to hang him by the noose, hang Rahul Gandhi by the noose because he's in the National Herald scam, Sonia Gandhi indicted in the National Herald scam, P. Chidambaram indicted in the INX media scam, Vaibhav Gehlot indicted in the Cash for Jobs scam, Abhishek Banerjee indicted in the Cash for Jobs scam, Tejas in the Bihar Recruitment Board scam, NK Udayanithi Stalin facing criminal defamation.
Okay, so you're one of the most unfair. 1 minute, Ms. Shama Mohammed, you must be patient. I've heard Sanju Verma, she's made her point. Shama Mohammed, now respond. No, 1 minute. Shama Mohammed, please respond now. The point being made here by Sanju Verma is saying an indictment cannot lead to Rahul Gandhi claiming immediately in a press conference, arrest Adani. There is a law. Rahul Gandhi should also say there is a law, a process of law. It seems that because it becomes every time any allegation against Adani is made, Rahul Gandhi instantly targets Prime Minister Modi, says it's Prime Minister Modi who's protecting Adani.
Okay, so let me say this. When they went to Australia to sign the deal with the SEBI chairperson who was sitting, Prime Minister Modi, what did the finance minister of Sri Lanka say? He said that we are doing a deal with the government of India when he was doing a deal with, SBI, sorry, when he was doing a deal with Adani. So we had the issue with even the Bangladesh. So there is everywhere, Adani is the government of India. It's not what we say. My only thing with them is that When we had Augusta Westland, when we had 2G, you know that who went behind bars? Who did the investigation? The CBI of our government. We put the DMK people behind bars. It was our government. What I'm trying to say is when something like this comes in, why are they scared of a JPC? Do an investigation. Let the law of the land, let it take. But no, they will not involve him in any of this. They clearly say, and they clearly say that he cannot be arrested. Of course he has to be arrested because this is the grand jury. Now here, let me also say, the Chief Minister Hemant Soren arrested.
He has to be arrested after a proper inquiry and investigation. You know, ma'am, you have to arrest someone after an inquiry and investigation.
Let there be a proper investigation.
Okay, that's fair. Let there be a proper investigation.
There should be a proper investigation. We're asking for a JPC. Let there be a proper investigation.
Okay.
And also Madhavi Butch, why didn't she come to the PSC? She did not come because of this. Why is she scared? Is she supporting here? There are regulatory bodies involved in this investigation. Our regulatory body is quiet. Why is the regulatory body, when so many investors' lives are at risk, and they are supposed to take care of our investors in India? She is quiet as anything. And there is also the other evidence, of course, is the cancellation happening, and this is going to hit us really, really bad.
Okay, I want to ask one final quick question. Okay, I take your point. I have just 30 seconds on the show to ask this question. Perception-wise, do you agree that the government of India needs to find a way to, across the world, whether it's now in Kenya, where you saw the loud cheering when the Adani deal was cancelled, the perception that there is cronyism, that therefore of cronyism of a magnitude perhaps that has not been seen in the past. Does the government of India need to address this perception problem? A quick answer.
All Asian countries have used the national champion model. The question is how clear you are on maintaining the integrity. If India has to become a $10 trillion economy, it must clear the debts across governments in how contracts are signed.
Okay. Effectively, therefore, what you're saying is this is a classic case of a need to be transparent. There is no space for opacity. The more you are opaque, the more the perceptions will grow that you have something to hide or you're protecting someone. Gautam Adani must also have the right to defend himself before being arrested, as is being suggested by the opposition, because then that becomes a clear political game. And questions will also be raised about the regulator and the need for a fair and transparent inquiry. 48 hours to go for the big Maharashtra verdict, and the Mahavikas Aghadi now already finds itself in a battle for the Chief Minister's chair. Even if the exit polls don't exactly go in their favor, Maharashtra's Congress chief Nana Patole today said that the Chief Minister would be from the Congress party if they won. The Uddhav Sena was quick to hit back. Lots of drama there. Take a look.
Maharashtra's political landscape is feeling the heat with just 2 days left for the assembly election results. A fresh rift has surfaced within the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi over the Chief Minister's post. State Congress Chief Nana Patole has declared any MVA government will be led by the Congress, only to be snubbed by Shiv Sena UBT MP Sanjay Raut.
कांग्रेस की लीडरशिप में ही सरकार महाविकास आघाड़ी की बनेगी। उस तरह से जो मतदान का रुझान आ रहा है, तो उसके आधार पर राज्य में कांग्रेस के सबसे ज्यादा कैंडिडेट चुन के आएंगे और महाविकास आघाड़ी की सरकार आएंगी, इसमें कोई दो मत नहीं है। ये काले पत्थर पे सफेद लकीर है।
लोकतंत्र में जो मतदान होता है वो सीक्रेट होता है। लोग अपनी बात हमेशा खुलकर नहीं कहते। महाराष्ट्र में इस बार यही हुआ है। आप देखिए 23 तारीख को 10 बजे तक 11 बजे तक पूरा फैसला आ जाएगा। हम 160-165 सीटें जीतने जा रहे हैं।
The face-off comes even as Maharashtra witnessed a significant surge in voter turnout. The assembly election saw 65.11% turnout, the highest since 1995. Mumbai also saw an impressive turnout of 53.92%, reflecting a renewed voter enthusiasm. Both MVA and ruling Mahayuti are claiming a higher turnout will benefit them.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जब जब वोटिंग परसेंटेज बढ़ता है तो बीजेपी को ही उसका फायदा होता है। तो मैं ऐसा मानता हूं कि निश्चित रूप से ये जो बढ़ा हुआ वोटिंग परसेंटेज है ये बीजेपी और हमारे अलायंस के लिए, महायुति के लिए ये फायदा हमको देगा और इसका फायदा हमको होगा।
Mahavikas Aghadi is very confident in forming a government in Maharashtra. Really speaking, the people are totally against the present-day government at the center and the state. Exit polls are not reflecting the reality in the grassroots level.
Meanwhile, political war is escalating over Maha Bitcoin scam, with BJP firing salvos at Sule and Patole.
सुप्रिया सूले की सबसे बड़ी ताकत मेरी ईमानदारी है। आई एम विलिंग टू सिट विद मिस्टर त्रिवेदी एनीवेयर। वो जहाँ कहे, प्लेस ऑफ हिज टाइम, टाइम उन्हें तय करे, जगह वो तय करे और शहर वो तय करे, कहीं भी बुला ले और प्लेटफॉर्म भी वही तय करे। आई कम वेरेवर ही से।
मुझे लगता है कि इस प्रकार के गंभीर आरोपों के बारे में जो भी तथ्य प्रकाश में आए हैं उनकी तथ्यात्मक और विधि सम्मत जांच होनी चाहिए। इसको लेकर यदि कोई राजनीतिक मुद्दा बनाना चाहता है तो मुझे लगता है कि वह जांच को भटकाने या दबाव में लेने अथवा जो विसिल ब्लोवर्स हैं अर्थात जिन्होंने इस विषय को उठाया है उनको दबाव में लेने का यह प्रयास है।
While most exit polls lean heavily towards the BJP-led Mahayuti securing a majority, one poll suggests a possible edge for the opposition. The answer to Maharashtra Cha Raja Kaun will be revealed on November 23rd. Bureau Report, India Today.
To our Get Real India story, where another cash for jobs scam appears to have emerged, this time in the coastal state of Goa, which is already battling an unemployment crisis. The ruling BJP party's functionaries there are among the accused in this scam, and the opposition is now pointing fingers at the Chief Minister and has even written to Prime Minister Modi calling for a CBI inquiry. The cash for jobs alleged scam in Goa. Take a look.
The coastal state of Goa is rocked by cash for jobs scam. Many citizens were duped of crores of rupees in exchange for a promise of a government job. The police have registered about 30 cases so far and arrested over 30 people.
The North Goa police has arrested 13 accused persons and more arrests are likely.
In the South Goa district, we have registered 12 cases of duping the victims. In these cases, there are 21 accused persons. We have arrested 20 accused persons.
The ruling party BJP is on the back foot after names of many party functionaries and their associates came up during the investigation. The opposition is demanding a judicial probe into the matter and is questioning the alleged role of Chief Minister Pramod Sawant.
इनकी रिक्रूटमेंट जो महिला मोर्चे की आरोपी मिली है श्रुति प्रभुगांवकर, इनकी रिक्रूटमेंट किसने की थी और ये किसके बिहाफ पर नौकरियां देने की बात करती?
Goa Forward Party's Vijay Sardesai demanded an impartial investigation and alleged involvement of many Goa ministers.
If the police inquiry has been unbiased and has been proper, and the police inquiry does not find any political manipulation or political interference, fine, judicial inquiry also will find the same thing. Why you don't want to allow that?
Chief Minister Pramod Sawant clarified that nobody has been given a clean chit in the case.
त्यांच्यानी खंयचो क्लीन चिट शब्द आलो म्हाका कळना. इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन इज गोईंग ऑन आणि इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन केल्या उपरांत कोणूच सुटचो ना. पुलीस इज ऑन रायट ट्रॅक. ह्या केसीत पूर्णता ट्रान्सपरन्सी आसा. पुलिसांक फ्री हँड दिला. त्याची तेंच्यांनी जितक्या जाणांक सगळ्यांक कोणाक अरेस्ट करपाचें तेची थॉरो इन्व्हेस्टिगेशन करपाचें. कोणूच सुटचो ना.
The controversy amid the increasing unemployment rate in Goa, which currently stands at 13.7%, one of the highest in India, has raised concerns about job opportunities for state's youth. With Ravaji Desai in Goa, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's turn from there to our final good news today story. A constable in Madhya Pradesh creating all the right buzz for his relentless dedication to the environment. The hobby has now turned into a full-blown green army. We leave you with that story. Thanks for watching. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar.
The sweat on Bunty's forehead reflects his selfless dedication to the environment. A constable in the Madhya Pradesh police posted in Agra, Malwa, Bunty Dhakar spends hours each day nurturing and protecting these plants. What began with planting and watering a few trees grew into a green army, a movement connecting and motivating people to plant trees on special occasions. Bunty's mornings start with watering the plants.
फेसबुक के माध्यम से जो या फोन के माध्यम से जो पहले सरागर जिले में पदस्थ थे उनको निवेदन करके जोड़ा कि आपके नाम के पौधा लगाया जाए, ये जाली बनाई जाए जिसकी देखरेख हम करेंगे और पानी पिलाकर बड़ा करेंगे। इस प्रकार वर्ष 2022 में हमने करीब 500-600 पौधे लगाए थे पिछले वर्ष, जिनकी लगातार देखरेख की जिम्मेदारी भी हमने ही ली थी। इसलिए मेरा ये लक्ष्य है कि अधिक से अधिक पौधे लगाएं और उनको पानी पिलाकर बड़ा करें।
With community support, he's even installed water tanks, introduced drip irrigation, and ensures that every plant is protected and cared for.
वो अपना कीमती समय निकाल करके अपनी सर्विस में से और वो पौधे लगाते हैं, फिर उनको पालते हैं, बड़ा करते हैं और उनके हाथ के लगभग 5 से 7 हज़ार पौधे तो मैं देख चुका हूँ जिन्होंने आज बहुत अच्छा मूर्त रूप ले लिया मतलब। और वो किसी के जैसे जन्मदिन होता है, किसी के और कोई फंक्शन होता है तो उनसे वो संपर्क करते हैं, उनको बुलाते हैं और उनसे पौधे लगवाते हैं।
Today, Bunty's efforts have turned saplings into trees, proving that one person's dedication can inspire an entire community. Bureau Report, India Today.